Hi there. Today I'm going to be chatting with Kristel from Stories from Palestine podcast. Every Monday, Kristel shares a new podcast about culture and heritage in Palestine. You can find her on her Instagram page, Stories from Palestine, or here on My Olive Roots. Hi, Kristel.
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
I think everybody wants to know a little bit more about Stories from Palestine. And you have some amazing podcasts, and I really look forward to following you all the time. So, especially your recent visit to Nazareth and Jericho, I really felt like I was there. So it was lovely. So, what brought you to begin with? What brought you to Palestine? Why did you move there in the first place?
I think it was in 2006 that I first came to Palestine to join an olive harvest program. And when I was here, I had this almost spiritual experience where I felt that either I lived here, my soul was here in a past life, or maybe now in retrospective, I feel that maybe unconsciously I knew that I was going to end up here, but that it was more than just enjoying the country that you can when you visit other countries. I've never had that feeling before. And after the Olive Harvest program, I decided to stay longer and to volunteer with an organization here. And then I even found a paid job with the olive tree campaign, planting olive trees for Palestinian farmers. And in one of the trips that I made for that job, I met my husband. He's from Beit Safafa, from Jerusalem. And we got married, and immediately we had children. So I moved here from the Netherlands in 2013, and I've been here since that 7 years already.
It's amazing. And how do you adjust living there as a foreigner and in that environment?
I actually want to make a special podcast episode about that because I think my life would have been very different if I grew up or not grew up, if I lived and grew my children up in the Netherlands. One of the things that I feel so different and so beautiful here is that I live with my family in law. My parents in law are upstairs, traditional Palestinian
Yeah,
setting.
yeah.
We are downstairs. I remember the first 2, 3 months, I found it hard. I didn't feel that I have privacy. My husband kept going upstairs to his mom to see what she was cooking. And I was like, we should be cooking ourselves. And now that I have the kids, I'm so happy that the grandparents are always around, that I don't have to cook every day, that I get to eat all this delicious Palestinian food. So that is the beautiful side of it. And of course, in the other side, we are living under military occupation. Our home is in the area just on the border between what is the state of Israel and what is the West Bank. So we get to cross military checkpoints every day. We are often faced with soldiers, with
Mhm.
violence. So that's the other aspect. But yeah, this is the reality, and we have to raise our children also being proud Palestinians. And that's what I'm trying as a Dutch mom, trying to do with my kids, is to raise them Dutch and Palestinian. I never say they are half-half. They are fully Dutch and fully
That
Palestinian.
must be difficult for your children. How do they feel about living there as Dutch Palestinians?
They are very blonde, so when you look at them, you don't think that they are Arabs. And so especially my daughter, who is almost 7 years old, she really realizes that. Sometimes she tells me on the checkpoint, Mama, I think it's better if I don't speak Arabic because they will not know that I'm Palestinian. So I tell her, you should never be ashamed of being Palestinian. You should never be afraid of the soldiers. So she's really aware of it. It's also really funny to see these very blonde children speaking perfect Arabic, including the Falaha
Oh
accent with
my
itch
God.
they speak.
They probably speak better Arabic than me.
Yeah, I mean, logic. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good. How's your Arabic?
يعني بدور حالي بالعربي مش
Oh,
100% بس
Allah.
بفهم بحكي شوي.
Can you read? Can you read
I
Arabic?
read like children, very slowly. Even now, my daughter started reading faster than me. Yeah.
Amazing. That's better than anything I can do, trust me. So tell me about Stories from Palestine. How did you get started into this?
So it started with the fact that a year ago I started studying the tour guide program at the Bethlehem Bible College. I've been a tour guide in the Netherlands. I studied 4 years to be a tour guide there. I've been working here in alternative tourism, taking people on tours, showing them the reality of Palestine. And then I started a job as a teacher to teach how to be a good tour guide in that school. And then I realized, you know what? I want to study this because it's so interesting. The history of Palestine, it's so rich. So many things happened here. It's the place where all monotheistic religions have their most important sites. So I want to know more. I started last summer. It's a 2 years program. And then COVID happened. Then the pandemic made that there was no more tourism, nobody coming, no work. And then I said, okay, I have to come up with a plan. What about online? And first I started writing stories and sharing them. And then I got into this podcasting thing and I started just doing a weekly podcast, a story about a site, a historic event, cultural heritage.
Amazing.
Yeah, people, interviews, and yeah.
Very interesting. It's great stuff. What you're doing is amazing. And what's the long-term goal, do you feel like? What's the mission for Stories? Where do you hope it will go?
My mission is to make sure that every person who has the ability to come to Palestine will decide to come for a visit because Palestinians deserve tourism just as much as everybody in the world. I often hear people say, I don't want to come to Palestine until Israel is not occupying it anymore, or I don't want to go there and feel like I'm looking like monkeys in the zoo. I'm like, no, that's the wrong way to look at it. People here have a long history and tradition. These are the native people. These are the people you should be hearing the history from. So come. If you have any concerns, I can always help people, help them with logistics, help them with where to stay. I feel just really sad for those Palestinians in diaspora who cannot make it to come here, whose family is from here and they can't come. And for them, I hope that my podcast is a window into the homeland, and we just petition the gods that they will make sure that Palestinians get to return where they come from, where they belong.
Yeah. And that's a lot of why I really, really connected with you, because living in the diaspora, one of my goals, and I have been to Palestine before, but it's been many years, and I have a lot of friends and family around me who haven't been to Palestine yet, and it's one dream that they have, or they might be a bit hesitant in going because there's a lot of fear around that. And so I hope that we can do a My Olive Roots journey to Palestine, and you can help us organize that. So how can you help me with my visit?
Anybody who wants to come, just send me an email. Tell me who you are. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what are the things that you love to do and to see in Palestine. And even if you don't really know, tell me I love nature. I love history. I would love to do olive picking. I would love to go on a hike. And I'll be happy to help you write down a program, see what kind of logistics is needed. Just send an email to Kristel at storiesfrompalestine.info. Kristel is Kristel. And I'll be happy to answer.
Great. One of the goals for My Olive Roots is to do that. So
that would be amazing. I can already imagine a whole tour schedule.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. Well, start planning because hopefully in the next year that'll be the case. So I think it's great what you're doing, and bring awareness to all the amazing things that are happening over there, because we're so disconnected and we only have one view from here. And it's not always the reality. So it's nice to see and hear, actually, all the great things you're bringing to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting also.
Oh, it's a pleasure always.